You know, when a person fills out an application and says, yes, I have a criminal record, and this is something that happened 10 or 15 years ago, and they're not even called in, even though they might have the qualifications, this does not only affect them, it affects their children, it affects their families, and it affects all of us in the community. It is important as a state that we try to employ as many people as possible.
Amidst an uneven and uncertain economic recovery, we find that there are all too many New Jerseyans who are seeking employment, far too many. The largest barrier that many encounter is the tiny box on an employment application that asks the question, have you ever been arrested or convicted of a crime? You're asked to check that box. If you check that box, your application is frequently consigned to the circular file, a trash can. Checking the box ends the application process, ends the opportunity to compete for work, ends the opportunity to vie for that which most Americans take as a right. That is the ability to provide for your family, to offer sustenance. The New Jersey Opportunity to Compete Act simply postpones the criminal background inquiry.
If you have made your mistake, you have come out, and you're trying to reintegrate yourself back into society, you've educated yourself, you've done everything that you needed to do, you have a right to expect to be treated fairly. And that is the only thing that this piece of legislation is demanding. It is the only thing that this piece of legislation is asking, is that people be given the opportunity to compete in the good old American way, based upon our own skills, our own integrity, our own selves, without being prejudged before we've had the opportunity to give our side of the story.
I attended a job fair, and someone asked me, so what do you think? And it was great turnout. But when you have great turnout for a job fair, it's a very bittersweet moment because it's indicative of what we're experiencing here in the state. People want to work. We have to create opportunities for employment. We must remain focused in our conversations in this legislature, along with the administration, to create avenues and opportunities for employment. And certainly anything that obstructs that, we should look to change.
A very good chance that if you are black and brown and poor in the state of New Jersey, you're going to possibly have a run-in with the criminal justice system that will result in some blemish, something on your record. I also know that you represent some of the most talented individuals that we have in the state of New Jersey, and that if given the chance and if given the opportunity to remediate that which was your situation, you will be a productive citizen for the state of New Jersey.
We have to understand that this is a statewide issue and one that impacts our economy, our families, and our communities. The New Jersey Opportunity to Compete Act helps us address this monumentally important issue in a way that is fair to job applicants and does not unduly hinder the individual discretion of businesses.
And importantly, this legislation leaves untouched the ability of business leaders to ensure the quality of the workforce, the safety of their employees, and the trust of their customers. That's important. I support this legislation, that's why I'm here today, because I believe it promotes a fair hiring process and it leaves to business to decide what is important to run their businesses.
This legislation is business friendly because we're offering businesses the opportunities for a greater workforce. It's people friendly, it's decency, because we're demanding that people be treated equally.
Also a young man named Wilson who came with me today, who's a recently returned citizen, who is now looking for an employment opportunity, and is intimidated by a box that's going to say, "Are you a convicted felon?" A young man that, if given the opportunity to be able to go into an interview room and be able to give his credentials and give his resume and be able to dress up in the suit that he's in today and sell himself to an employer. Not saying it's going to be guaranteed a job, but just given an opportunity to step into the room, to say, you know what? I have changed myself. This is my life now. That was then and this is now, and I'm deserving of a second chance as I paid my debt to society.